Take 50. Hey everybody, this is Jarnay Lola. Today we're going to do our Mindset Mondays. We're continuing the journey that we started last week. Today I want to talk about taking responsibility for you. When you take responsibility of you, that's just basically saying being conscious of how you affected whatever situation, what ways you impacted the situation, and what role you played. When you're conscious of the role that you played in whatever situation, you kind of know where it went wrong or where it needs improvement or how you can make it better. An example, a common thing that I notice and I know goes on in our community is the filing of child support on our men. So a lot of us are against, well, I wouldn't even say a lot. There's a good amount of people that's against filing child support for whatever their personal reasons are, and then there's a lot of people that are for filing child support for whatever their reasons are. But what I noticed today going into the child support courthouse, whatever it was, being there, being in line, like I initially when I filed, I didn't know until yesterday that I was in an emotional state when I filed. So my emotional state caused me to file based on the emotional state that I was in. I'm used to being in control of my situation, as I have been a single parent for 5 years now, raising my older two, and now, I have an 8-month-old. So not being able to be in control of the situation, I want things to go how I wanted to go, according to when I wanted to go. So when stuff didn't go that way, I was like, okay, well, child support, we'll just let that deal with it. And my personal reasons for it was medical support only. I didn't make the baby alone, so, I didn't feel like I should have to afford that cost on my own. So that was my reason for filing. Standing in line today, walking in there, seeing all those people, all types of people, just in there in the child support line, whatever their situations were, it really didn't bother me. But the fact of a lot of people being there, I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go through this. This is like pointless. And I realized that through conversation I had yesterday, but actually being there today, it kind of hit home like, why am I here? What's the purpose? Like, I really don't want to be in here. So today it made it real for me, like, okay, this is really not what I want. I don't want this person in the system. This is crazy. And I did that based on how I felt when something didn't go my way. So yesterday with the conversation that I had with this person, which is the father of my child, my youngest, I started realizing through our conversation that we had, I started to realize it's like, okay, this person is always on a defense, about anything that I say, and I don't mean any harm with anything that I do, but the fact that I brought this to the table, this person has a valid reason for how they feel in a situation and how they feel like I betrayed them in a situation with, child support in general. I understand that, and I can feel where that person is coming from. The main thing for me was, okay, I was conscious enough to figure out I'm the reason that this person is on defense. Had I not filed, we would be in a better space as co-parenting. This person wouldn't feel like I'm out to get them or I'm out to get money from them when that wasn't my plan at all. That wasn't my intention. So being conscious in what role you played can put a lot of things in perspective as to, okay, so I see why you behave this way, and it's because of a reaction of what I did. What I did had you to behave a way, and so now we can't do what we need to do based on how each one of us feel, When you know where you stand as far as what role you played in whatever situation or whatever conflict or whatever, whatever it is, when you realize the role that you played in that, it gives you a new perspective on, okay, well, how can I grow? How can I make the situation better? Where can we move forward? How can I regain your trust to where we are, on some kind of level of trusting each other, to be a parent or whatever the situation is, be a better person. I know the trend is, with a lot of people filing child support, it could be a reason of you just need spousal support in general. Like, not spousal support, sorry. You need support in general for your child. And you would like the courts to enforce it. It could be, I've seen a lot of people file it just being in an emotional state of, well, he doesn't want to be with me, so I'll just go file this and this is what it's going to be. Like, I'll let them handle it. But you don't understand, like, the effect of ever just putting that person in the system. It kind of hinders you and your child both. It made it real for me when I was sitting there listening to, these people being called up, male and female being called up. The judge asked, told them their case, asked the female, well, do you want to negotiate or do you want him to go to jail? And so my mindset was like, okay, why are these the only two options? That's kind of like crazy. The system is crazy. Just backing off of that a lot of that whole process being in that courthouse made me realize is like, at the time that this situation went on, I was in an emotional state. Granted, I did want and need the medical support, but at the end of the day, if that person is willing to negotiate and compromise and, outside of all that, it's no point of that system being in play. It's no point of child support being on the table if that person is willing to do their part outside of whatever the situation is. The bigger picture is, I take responsibility for my part I played in it. I apologize when I realize, okay, I see why you don't trust me. I see why, you feel like I'm against you or I betrayed you or you can't trust me because of this one incident. I understand that. And I can honestly apologize for that role because that wasn't my intention. That wasn't my intention, and I didn't think ahead to figure out, this would affect you in that way. I just basically, thought about it in my mindset and what I felt in that moment, and not necessarily thinking about, how would this affect this person moving forward? How would it affect my child moving forward? So with apologizing, that's the first step. It's not to say that everything is going to be all fine and dandy at all, but the fact that you acknowledge your role and you can apologize for your wrongdoing, if it was wrongdoing, you acknowledging that, that's a big step towards growth. That's growth. It takes a lot of, I know today in a world where everybody is prideful and apologizing and prideful in, just being wrong, it's growth. It's growth. It's a stride towards being a better person and actually being mindful of that other person versus being mindful of just yourself and what you want or what you need or how you feel. That goes back to our last conversation last week. When you think of a person for a person, you see that person as a person versus an object. Me being an emotional person, I have to be in tune with how I react. And I'm sure I'm not the only person. But all in all, I took responsibility for myself, what role I played in it. Leaving court today, I'm not going back. So that's out of there. I was scared straight. I literally could have been on scared straight being in there today. But yeah, today was a good day. Aside from falling asleep in court and all that extra stuff. I just hope that you're more mindful of you, in tune with yourself, and start making changes where they need to be changes. Start making things better if you can make them better, if it's reconcilable, to building trust and keeping trust, and just having lifelong relationships as far as friendships, relationship with your family members, relationships on any type of standard. Take responsibility for you, and once you start doing that, things should start shifting. It won't be a blame of, okay, well, you did this, so, I did it too. It won't be a petty game. When you take responsibility for yourself and your actions, it forces, in a sense, that person to take responsibility for themselves and what they did in the situation. And hopefully it's the cycle that will, continue to grow and get better. That's all I got today. Hopefully that helps someone. Subscribe to my YouTube, Jarnay Johnson. Army Wife to Civilian Life is my Instagram, also Facebook page. Just stay tuned. Subscribe to my YouTube. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.